There are a long list of players out of contract on June 30th, and Mark Ogden is here to pick the best of them. First up, Mark, you've gone for Adam Lallana. It does seem as though he's extended until the end of this period with Liverpool, but after that, might we see him joining back up with Brendan Rodgers?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, Lallana has extended his contract till the end of the season, 4 or 5 weeks, just that's all, just to, as Jurgen Klopp says, so they can finish the job of getting the Premier League title won. So he's only 32, Lallana. He's had a couple of bad years with injuries, but, you know, Gareth Southgate, the England manager, loves Lallana, and I think if he could have taken it to the World Cup and given a prominent role, he would have done 2 years ago because he offers that much. I think, you know, maybe Liverpool don't need Lallana anymore to contribute like he has done in the past, but I think he would be a great sign as a free transfer for a lot of clubs. And I think, yeah, Leicester would be a good move for him, but I think, you know, without kind of denigrating Leicester, I think Lallana could probably aim higher than that. I think he could find a bigger club than that, maybe on the continent. So I think there'll be a lot of options for Lallana.
Then Jurgen Klopp has said it's not possible to find the words to actually talk about the contribution he's made to the team since he came in, as well as the way he plays. Obviously, you said he's 32. Does he bring that veteran experience into maybe a younger squad and could help out there?
Yeah, you know, and he's like I say, he's played in World Cups. He's a seasoned international player. Helped Liverpool win the Champions League last season. So he's a player that you still think he's quite a young player, Lallana, because he has missed quite a bit of football. And I think that's one thing that plays in his favour, that he's probably got a bit of freshness in him that a 32-year-old wouldn't normally have. He's got that freshness and experience. So the right club could get a lot out of Adam Lallana. I think he'd be a big player. And I think, you know, any other circumstances, Liverpool might have kept him, but unfortunately, the time has come for him to leave. But I think he will strengthen any club he goes to.
Next up, it's a player who's announced that it is his final campaign with Manchester City. It's David Silva, and he's made your list.
Yeah, I think, you know, he's had 10 years at Man City, and, you know, he's won countless league titles, FA Cup. You know, he's won everything in the domestic league, David Silva. He's been one of the great foreign players in the Premier League. So, you know, he's only, what is he, 32, 33? Maybe 34. He's one of these guys, David Silva, that looks younger than he actually is, but I think he's still got a lot of miles on the clock because of the way that he plays. You know, I think he's never had a lot of pace. He plays in the final third. He can find a pass, and I think that there's probably 3 or 4 years left in David Silva. But I think that rather than, you know, punish himself by playing one of the major leagues in Europe anymore, I think he does fancy move to MLS. There was a chance of him going to the J League a while ago, but I think the MLS is what he favours now. I think, you know, New York City are obviously part of the City Football Group. They're keen. Inter Miami have been linked with him for a long time now, since David Beckham took charge at Inter Miami. So I think David Silva would look at that and think that's a good opportunity. But the one thing he's always said, you know, I've spoken to him a couple of times over the years, he's desperate to finish his career at Las Palmas, you know, team of the Canary Islands, the Segunda division at the moment. But I think if he has maybe 2 years in the US, comes back to Las Palmas to finish his career, that would be the perfect scenario for David Silva.
The future of the next player on your list is an interesting one, Mark. You've gone for Willian at Chelsea.
Yeah, you know, Willian's been ultra consistent since he went to Chelsea. He turned Tottenham down and chose to go to Chelsea at the last minute. I think ever since he's been a great player. And I know that when Jose Mourinho was at Man United, he was desperate to get Willian, I think, for a couple of seasons, a couple of summers running, because he was a player that, you know, offers goals, and he transforms defence into attack very quickly, Willian, in his midfield role. So I think I'm surprised Chelsea are letting him go. I'm surprised Chelsea haven't come up with another deal for Willian, because he does offer a lot of qualities, and, you know, I think they'll miss him next year. So there are talks of Arsenal maybe in for Willian, which would be a big surprise if you're a Chelsea fan. But I think Willian is a player that, again, for me, he's probably one of the bargains of the summer this year if somebody can get hold of him.
Well, he's said to want a longer-term deal, but the reports state that the Blues want no more than a year out of him. Should he stick around and just take that year?
Well, I'd look at the way Chelsea are building now, and I think, you know, they're bringing in Timo Werner, they've brought in Hakim Ziyech, you know, Christian Pulisic is already there. They're obviously building for the future, but I think, you know, Willian maybe looks at that thinking, well, am I going to play enough? And a lot of clubs now, when players hit the 30s, they tend to offer 1 year deals anyway, because they don't, you know, they can't rely on the fitness or injury level. But if you're Willian, you stick around for a year at Chelsea, they're a much better bet for me next season than Arsenal are. You know, I think Chelsea are going places, and they might not win the Premier League next year, but I think they're a team that are definitely on the up again. And if you can play a part in helping the younger players come through and sticking around, you know, you'll do well to find a better team or a better club than Chelsea right now, because they are going places under Frank Lampard. So, you know, there's obviously the Copa America next summer that's been delayed with Brazil. He might have an eye on that. But for me, Chelsea's the best option for Willian right now. And if there's a contract on the table, a 1-year deal, I'd take it.
You mentioned Arsenal. I've also seen Spurs linked as well. If he was to move on to one of those clubs, where do you think he would do best?
Well, we all know that he loves Mourinho, and I think, Willian under Mourinho is a success story for me. But going to Tottenham, I think that would make him, pretty unpopular with the Chelsea fans. I think Chelsea to Arsenal is less of a problematic move in terms of relationship with fans. Chelsea and Spurs fans just don't get on. There's a lot of animosity there. So, but if you're a player that looks to have the best kind of prospects of success next year, I'd say it's Tottenham and Mourinho, because Spurs are now the team to beat in North London. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but that's how it is. And Mourinho might get something out of next year. He's got Harry Kane there. He's got Dele Alli. They're a better team. They're a better squad than Arsenal. So if you're Willian, you might play more at Arsenal, but you'd probably win nothing. So go to Tottenham and take a chance.
So there you have it. Mark Ogden's best 3 for free this summer.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.